Good afternoon, this is 4046 and welcome to my latest video. I have literally just finished reading the fourth volume in the Babylon 5 books, which is a direct canon to the series. This one's been on a long journey. This one was actually published in the United States, so it is well travelled. Unfortunately, during my reading of this, it unfortunately become a little bit more on the warm side. However, I have finally read it. I read this the first time round. I couldn't remember that much about it. I do remember the first part because this book is split into 3 sections, all one story, but not the strongest of stories. It does describe a little bit more about the racism of Earth and the president reinstating death penalty because he's behind in the popularity polls, but also his reforms to make a new fascist state on Earth not proceeding as he hoped they would. There are a lot of people that are loyal to this president. However, this president is, as any of you who's watched the show, eventually gets sorted out anyway. This one concentrates on an alien delegation that got their freedom and were enslaved by the Narns. And unfortunately, Ambassador Jakar was the one that conquered their world, as it talks about in the prelude. 10 years before he becomes ambassador to Babylon 5. As I always should say, but for any of you that know, I should have said spoilers. There's not many spoilers really in this particular volume. This does talk about a little bit more about certain mannerisms that you wouldn't expect from certain characters. Characters are down to a T and they're not bad, but again, they're not quite as you would expect them to be. There is a murder investigation because a certain type of tourist, shall we say, that likes aliens gets he gets depressurized and it gets shall we say, attacked by one of the aliens, and the alien goes on trial, and the alien gets the death penalty because they've just reinstated the death penalty, which then rises the question: is the death penalty immoral? The way in which they tackled it in this is not great. The media being involved, which in this world will be the same. There is in the United States something called Court TV. Any of my US viewers would know that almost treats court cases like sports events. It boggles the mind. The only reason I know about this is because my mum watches it, and just find it rather dispassionate. It doesn't make any sense. But forgetting that tangent, that was just an example. Again, this one is not the best one. I bought this from the World of Books, and having bought 3 other titles, this one was the free item. So you buy 3 books and you get 1 for free, and this was the free one. I remember reading this in the early 2000s or late 1990s, and it's okay. It's a worthy volume, but it's not. I would say that Blood Oath is better than this. Unfortunately, this one it's probably could have been rounded up quicker in the pages. I will leave the World of Books as a link in the description of this video. But as for this one, if you're completist, definitely read this, but you don't. It's not essential. The only bits that have unfortunately got slightly retconned later is I don't remember my UK version having it, but this one has got like a prelude and an epilogue, so basically concentrates a little bit more on the President of the Earth Alliance, certain things that happened, what started the Earth Minbari War. However, the ship is retconned and the gunnery officer is retconned later on as well, so that's pointless. The most interesting point of this is that the forces of the Shadows are supposed to be on Earth's side. However, events on the very last 2 pages would say that that's not 110% the case. But saying that, from the one that they freed on Io, or was it Europa, that's not entirely the case. The Shadows seem to, well, they're self-serving. They've always have been. This is a shorter video than normal because why not? I've almost got the entire collection now. I've literally have 2 more, and then 1 more arriving very shortly in a trilogy, and I will be, hopefully before the year is out, get them. The biggest problem is now these trilogies are very expensive. They're not in ebooks. They're not audible. This would be a fantastic time to start a project where you bring some of these titles to Audible. This would not be the best one to start off with. Something like Book 7, The Shadows Within, would be the best book to do, as it concentrates on the Shadows and the very reason that Anne Sheridan works for them, and the reason that Mr. Morgan works for them, and it's very well written. I've read that a couple of times, but I will reread it because I haven't read it for at least 10 years, so there's always things that you forget, especially this one. I mean, I've read this one before, but I don't remember very much about it, hence the reason I read it again. If you're completist, I'd definitely recommend this. I'd probably say 3 out of 5. It's a good effort. This particular writer has written for Doctor Who and certain other titles. I believe he's also written X-Files stuff as well, so he knows what he's talking about. Unfortunately, this particular one is not the greatest of them. My next video will probably be about the size of the cosmos, and that will be dropping sometime in the next few days. Just giving them some time to think it through. In the sort of next couple of months, I'll be able to start editing, as I keep saying in all of my videos, and be able to start showing you pictures, graphics, etc. of certain things, and have a more professionally polished video for you all. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. This is 4046 out. Please like and please subscribe, and wherever you are, whenever you are, have a